Hey guys, welcome back to the Witchcraft Cycle Workshop. Today we're going to be showing you how to do a oil change on your big dog motorcycle. For today's episode we have a 2005 big dog mastiff. So follow along and we'll show you how to get this done, and as always don't forget to click that like and subscribe button down below. So let's get started. Alright, so on a big dog, first thing we're going to do is pop the seat off. And you'll notice here next to our battery, this is our oil fill cap. And this is where you fill and check the oil. We're going to leave that loose right now so it'll help vent the tank while we go to drain it. So, on the left side of the bike here, if you look underneath, right here, this little button here, that's, see if we can point it out, this here, that's our drain plug for our oil tank, engine oil. So let's get that out of there and get her to draining here. All right, we're going to take our hex key socket here. This is a 5mm, and we're going to get this drain plug out of here. All right, we'll let that drain for a minute. All right, I think we pretty much got the engine oil drained. While you're waiting, your little drain plug here has a little rubber O-ring around the edge. You want to check that, make sure it's still in good shape. And that's a magnet on the end of that drain plug. You want to check it. Make sure you don't have a lot of filings or some sort of metal shavings in your oil that might indicate an engine problem. We're in good shape here, so we're going to put this all back together here. Put our drain plug back in. Using a mirror really comes in handy for seeing what you're doing. And you don't have to crank that down super tight. Just snug it up. All right. Let me dump this oil into a bigger container and I'll be right back. Now, engine oil tank is drained. While we're on the left side of the bike here, if you can see, oil drain was here for the engine oil. Right here, this is the drain for our primary side to drain the oil out of your primary clutch hub. So works the same way, little Allen wrench. Let's get this one drained next. And again, on the end of this plug, you have a little rubber O-ring right there and a magnet on the top. Now, if you see some shavings on the top of your primary plug here, don't get alarmed. That's pretty normal for your clutch wear and tear and whatnot on your primary drive. So clean it off and you'll be good, as long as it's not excessive. A little bit of shavings in there is perfectly normal. All right, while we're letting our primary side drain out here, I'm gonna move over here. On the front of our motor is our engine oil filter. Some of them will take this cap style wrench. This one here, this particular one has a nut on the end. I'm going to use an 11/16 and a long extension. Kind of keeps me out of the way. Spin our oil filter off. When you pull your oil filter off, clean and check this mating surface to make sure the rubber O-ring came off with the oil filter, and make sure it's not stuck on that mating surface. We want this good and clean for our new filter when we put the new one on there. Use a little brake clean up the mess here. All right, this is an Evo style Harley motor. It's actually made by S&S. I'm going to use a Filtro HF 170, C is for chrome, oil filter. I'm going to take some of my 20W50 engine oil, and I just want to coat that rubber O-ring with a little oil, so when we install it, it spins freely on that mating surface. And then this one doesn't have a nut on the end, it's got the cup style. So I'm going to take my other cup style wrench and snug it up. You don't have to make these very tight. I hate trying to do an oil change and somebody took a wrench and really cranked that thing down on there. Makes it almost impossible to get off. I think our primary side is done dripping, so we'll put the drain plug back in it. All right, to do the transmission, we're gonna have to go to the other side. All right, over here on the right side of the bike, right here, this is your fill and dipstick for your transmission. Takes a 3/8 hex key. There's our dipstick, and that's where we'll fill it to drain it. If you look underneath here, our chain case cover, and right behind it here is a little plug. It's hard to see. Maybe if we look over here from this side, right there, if you can see that, here's your clutch cable. Right behind your clutch cable, we're going to take a 3/16 Allen and loosen this drain plug. Well, actually, we're going to take it all the way out. I'm going to set the camera down so I can use both hands here. They didn't put it in the most ideal position, but there we go. There's the gear lube running out of our transmission. So we're going to let that drain for a minute. We'll be right back. All right, while our transmission is draining, I'm going to come back over here to the left side of the bike. I'm going to take this cover off. This is access to your chain. We're just going to take a 3/16 Allen wrench, pop these off. All right, had a little trouble getting the cover off. Somebody used RTV and glued the thing on tight. But anyway, chain access, we can test our tension on our chain. This ain't bad, so we're gonna leave it be. We're gonna put 1 quart of primary oil in our primary. There is no dipstick on the primary. You literally just put 1 quart in and you're good. We're going to fill this up, put the cover back on it, seal it all back up. All right, transmission is drained. We got the drain plug back in. We're going to take a funnel and I'm going to put 1 quart of gear lube. Everybody's got their own preference. Use what you want. I'm not going to get into that discussion, but we're going to add 1 quart of oil back to our transmission. On most all bikes, you're going to check your transmission level, oil level, while the bike's level. You do your engine oil on the kickstand, but you're going to want to check your transmission oil level while the bike is sitting level. And we're just going to set it in, stab it, and see where we're at. Last thing we're going to do is put 3 quarts of oil back in the engine. Gonna take 3 quarts of 20W50, add it back to the oil tank. All right, 3 quarts of oil back in the oil tank. We're gonna let the thing down off the lift, fire it up, warm it up. We're gonna get it off the lift, back on the side stand. We'll double check the oil level, see if it needs topped off. And that's it, that's your oil change on a big dog. Thanks for tuning in. Catch us next time, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.